Welcome to the Pittsburgh Soccer Show on Trib Live Radio. I'm Mike Grau. Very excited about this week's installment of the show. Pitt soccer fans, college soccer fans, we're going to get to know the new head coach of the Panthers a little bit better. His name is Vidovich. He comes from a long line of experience of winning in the ACC at professional levels, and that is something that this Pitt men's soccer program needs after a rough couple of years in ACC play. Jay is the man tasked with turning that record around, hired by Pitt Athletic Director Scott Barnes back in December, and he joins me now in studio to preview the upcoming season and give Pitt soccer fans an idea of who Jay Vidovich is and what he's about. Thanks for coming on.
My pleasure, Michael.
Your resume speaks for itself, and it's understandable why Scott Barnes sought you out. This Pitt, as I said, this Pitt men's soccer team is a team that has struggled to find any sort of foothold in the ACC in the few years that they've been there. You're a 5-time ACC Coach of the Year, a 2-time National Coach of the Year in your time at Wake Forest. What challenges does the Pitt job present as you get things underway here in these first few months?
Well, I think, right off, it's the move into the ACC, the new investment, the new leadership, by Scott and Chancellor Gallagher, I think just to make soccer a bigger part of the Pitt culture. So, and I think that's one of the first things that we have to do is to change the culture. Is that now we're in the ACC, and that means you're a team that should be competing for a national championship. Other parts that we're going to have to do after to change the culture in terms of just the way we want to play is also going to be the quality of the players that we're looking to bring in. It's got to be players that have ambitions to be professional, have ambitions to represent their country, have ambitions to win championships. So I think those are two key areas just to work on. Like I said, the culture once again and the quality of the players.
ACC soccer, for those who might not be familiar with the college game, I mean, that's I understand you're probably a little bit biased after 10 years at Wake Forest and now coaching at Pitt, but that's the cream of the crop when it comes to college soccer.
Yeah, I mean, it's the strongest conference in America. As we've used to, when I was at Wake, we'd tell the recruits, you have the opportunity to win the 3 best trophies in America, which is the ACC regular season, the ACC championship, and then the national championship. So, I think in the last 15 years, there's always been 1 to 3 ACC teams in the Final Four. So it's not unlike what's happening in basketball right now. It's it's just the quality of the teams are fantastic. So, it's a big move now for us to try and compete at that level.
Talking to Pitt men's head soccer coach Jay Vidovich here on the Pittsburgh Soccer Show on Trib Live Radio. And you mentioned that a change in culture was needed as this is coming on. And I don't expect you to say anything bad about a previous regime, but what were some of the areas that needed addressed once you stepped in through the door that you said this is an area where we can immediately improve and make an impact if we just change the way that we do this? Any instances come to mind of specific things that you wanted to get done right away?
Well, I think first off, I'll take a step back on that, Michael, is that the program that was set up prior and Coach Luxbacher had to take over was one that was not set to compete in the ACC. And I think that, once again, going back to leadership, that's something that's been moved, and they want to compete in the ACC, and they want to have success. When we start looking at the culture, I mean, it's just, once again, about the ambitions, the professionalism of how you do things, whether it's regeneration, recovery, the way you train, the way you plan for things, scouting reports, the training plans. Just, it's a whole different gamut. So we're just trying to, upgrade it to, one is the experience that my staff has in the college game, which is, fantastic. Jeff Nagalia, who's with University of North Carolina, has won national championships there. Then you have Mike Bohanek, who was at Penn State, and as well as at Virginia when they won a championship there. So we're just trying to, set everything up in a professional manner that's been successful in the NCAAs, as well as then take whatever we gathered from the professional ranks with, being with the Timbers last year and Jeff with Orlando City. So there's a lot of things we want to tweak and try and make happen, but I think we also, a big thing is looking at it right now is to be very patient about the process.
After such a long, successful tenure at Wake Forest, you spent last year with the Portland Timbers as an assistant for the senior team and the head coach of Portland Timbers 2 in USL, where the Pittsburgh Riverhounds play. What's the biggest difference between coaching amateurs and professionals?
Probably the quality, the ability to go through the grind, to consistently produce, the ambitions that to live off of what you're doing. So there's quite a bit of difference, to be honest with you.
Fun year to be in Portland last year, by the way, huh? MLS champs, the first year of Portland Timbers. So that was a good time to be there.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Winning follows you everywhere, it seems.
I wish the Timbers said that, but for sure, it was a great time to set up. It was their first year in the USL to set up their developmental team, and that was a tremendous experience. And then to be around the quality of the coaching staff and the players at the Timbers and see the run that they got on, particularly at the end of the season. But they were competitive and fighting for it the whole time. So to see that process, it was great. And it was great, I think, in terms of also, in terms of career-wise, in 1 year, you probably got what you do in 3 or 4 years in college in terms of on the field.
Well, we'll be looking to recreate that type of atmosphere at Pitt's home games as what they have at Portland Timbers home games. Maybe less chainsaws, but we'll talk to the AD and the Chancellor about that one. Pitt men's soccer coach Jay Vidovich here on the Pittsburgh Soccer Podcast on Trib Live Radio.